Yeah. Hi guys. एक बार can you please confirm that I am audible? Write in the chat box here. Please confirm me that I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, great. Yeah, actually, your teacher Anand has got affected by COVID-19, so he's currently have fever and something, so he will not be able to give you today's class. Okay. So
Okay, that's sad to hear, sir.
yeah, so today I will just take a doubt class. You know, you can ask doubts of any topic if you want, whatever topics you want. And I wanted to ask how many of you are comfortable in Hindi?
Uh,
Is there anyone who are not comfortable in Hindi?
I am okay with Hindi, sir.
Anyone who is not comfortable in Hindi? Ankit, Vijay, Shubham, Tosif, Anuki.
No problem, sir.
No problem, sir.
ओके तो अभी किसी को डाउट आ गया? मेरे को बोला गया था कि आज शायद रिकर्जन्स का डाउट ले लेना। आई थिंक रिसेंट टॉपिक आपका रिकर्जन पे ही होगा। ये कुछ और बढ़ाया गया था, मतलब लास्ट क्लास किस चीज के ऊपर हुई थी?
Recursion.
रिकर्जन के ऊपर ही होता है ना। तो किसको कोई डाउट है रिकर्जन के ऊपर? ये अदर देन दिस कोई किसी और टॉपिक पे जब तक पढ़ा हो जो समझ ना आया हो, है ना? सबको रिकर्जन आता है? चलो दैट्स ग्रेट यार। फिर मैं पूछ लेती हूँ क्लिक करके। चलो कौन बताएगा रिकर्जन का? बताओ, एक्सप्लेन करो रिकर्जन क्या होता है और कैसे काम क्या करता है। कौन बताएगा? डाउट तो किसी को नहीं है तो आता भी हो मतलब, चलो स्टार्ट विद इम्तियाज। इम्तियाज बता सकते हो कि व्हाट इज रिकर्जन एंड कैसे काम करता है?
एक बार देखना पड़ेगा भाई।
ओके, एनीवन कोई बता सकता है कि रिकर्जन क्या होता है? विजय आप बता दो। मैं क्वेश्चन बोल दूं, राइट अ प्रोग्राम। किसी को फाइबोनाची सीरीज के बारे में पता है क्या? व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज फाइबोनाची सीरीज? ऐसे चुप तो मत रहो, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा। तो
सर मैं था नहीं क्लास में तो मुझे पता नहीं था ना। मैंने क्लास में अटेंड करी थी कल की।
क्यों तुम्हें, चलो रिकर्जन से या क्वेश्चन बता देता हूँ। तो रिकर्जन क्या होता है ना? सबसे पहली बात तो मैं एक बार दोबारा से तुम्हें, अगर एनीवन हु जो भी नए नए आया है ना, एनीवन हु जॉइन लेट एंड हु इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी, देन यू कैन स्पीक इट लाइक यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी, आई कैन स्पीक इन हिंदी आल्सो, स्पीक इन इंग्लिश आल्सो, सो अदरवाइज आई थिंक हिंदी इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू स्पीक। ठीक है, तो अपन बात करते हैं कि रिकर्जन एक्चुअली होता क्या है। ठीक है, देखो यार ये टॉपिक ना जम है, ये बात याद रखना। 5 में से 5 स्टार मिलते हैं इस टॉपिक को। पूछो क्यों? तुम्हारे पूरे डीएसएल को में ना तुमने रिकर्जन सीख लिया ना, तुमने एक बहुत बड़ी चीज टॉपिक वो कर लेते हो, सीख जाते हो, पता है? क्योंकि तुम काफी इंटरव्यू आओगे, है ना? इंटरव्यू क्या मतलब, इंटरव्यू में तो पूछते ही पूछते हैं, बहुत पूछते हैं रिकर्जन। देखो बस पता है क्या निकलता है, तो तुम्हारे रिकर्जन क्वेश्चन खुद ही पूछ सकते हैं, पूरा टॉपिक है रिकर्जन वाला। तो तुम्हें जान के कैसे क्वेश्चन दे देगा जो रिकर्जन के ऊपर होता है, इंटरव्यू में पूछ लेता है, सीधा डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता है रिकर्जन के ऊपर। दूसरा एक टॉपिक होता है बैक ट्रैकिंग। अगर तुम्हें रिकर्जन आती है ना, ये हलवा हो जाएगा तुम्हारे, जस्ट अ पीस ऑफ केक। ये इतना आसान हो जाता है बैक ट्रैकिंग करना। ठीक है, तो रिकर्जन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है। रिकर्जन आ गई तो बैक ट्रैकिंग भी आ जाती है आराम से, कुछ नहीं है, 2-3 घंटे 3-4 क्वेश्चन करने हैं, बैक ट्रैकिंग भी ऐसे हो जाता है। तीसरी चीज आ जाती है डीपी। लोगों की फटती है इसको देख के। ठीक है, लोगों को समझ नहीं आता है डीपी क्या। आज भी तुम किसी पूछोगे ना, सब भी बोलेंगे भाई हमें डीपी नहीं आती, डीपी नहीं आती। देखो डीपी है तो मुश्किल चीज, बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंटरव्यू फिक्स क्वेश्चन पूछ जाते हैं कि लिमिट है डीपी की। उससे मतलब कुछ कंपनीज हैं, लाइक अगर आप गूगल पे चले जाओ या कुछ मीडिया.नेट है, कुछ ऐसी कंपनीज हैं जो डीपी भी बहुत हटके पूछ लेती है ना, बट वो सिर्फ 3 से 4% कंपनीज है ना, और वो मतलब टॉप 3 से 4% कंपनी जो पूछती है डीपी, है ना। नहीं तो उसके सिवाय कोई कंपनीज नहीं पूछती तुम्हें। ठीक है, इतनी कोई लोड लेने वाली बात नहीं है। बट डीपी के जो फिक्स्ड क्वेश्चन भी है ना, उसको समझने के लिए रिकर्जन आनी चाहिए। रिकर्जन नहीं आएगा तो डीपी आ ही नहीं पाएगी। रिकर्जन आ गई, बैक ट्रैकिंग आ जाएगी, और बैक ट्रैकिंग आ गई तो डीपी भी आ जाएगी। तुम ग्राफ पढ़ोगे, ग्राफ में बीएफएस डीएफएस बहुत यूज होता है, बीएफएस डीएफएस अभी तुम पढ़ोगे, उसमें जो ग्राफ में बीएफएस डीएफएस होता है ना, उसमें रिकर्जन का बहुत काम आता है यार। बीएफएस डीएफएस, तो तुम सोच सकते हो कि इतने सारे टॉपिक में से 4 टॉपिक तो मैं अभी बता दी। डीपी है, ग्राफ पूरा नहीं है, ग्राफ का कुछ पार्ट में पढ़ूंगा, बीएफएस डीएफएस। डीपी में तो रिकर्जन लगती है, डीपी में 2 तरह की होती है, एक होती है रिकर्जन, होती है लूप। 50-50 है, 50-50। अगर रिकर्जन नहीं आएगी तो तुम लूप कभी बना ही नहीं पाओगे, ठीक है। तो रिकर्जन आनी पहले ये सीखोगे तभी तुम इस पे आ पाओगे। तो अगर तुम्हें रिकर्जन नहीं आती तो तुम डीपी कभी स्टार्ट नहीं कर पाओगे, तो कभी सीख नहीं पाओगे। बैक ट्रैकिंग तो वैसे ही नहीं आ सकती। तो रिकर्जन आनी बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। और रिकर्जन है कुछ नहीं, जस्ट अ सिंपल थिंग। तो उसके बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है। तो रिकर्जन का मतलब क्या होता है, मतलब इसको ब्रेक भी करो तो रिकरिंग, मतलब रिकरिंग हो रहा है कुछ, है ना, एक कुछ बार बार रिपीट हो रही है। तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि आप एक ऐसा फंक्शन है जिसको दोबारा से कॉल कर रहे हो विद स्मॉलर इनपुट। याद रखना, फंक्शन कॉलिंग इटसेल्फ with either smaller input और bigger input। मतलब जो फॉर एग्जांपल कोई फंक्शन है ना, ये कोई एक फंक्शन है, आप इसको ब्लैक बॉक्स समझो, ठीक है। इसमें आपने एक इनपुट दिया, अब ये फंक्शन खुद को ही दोबारा कॉल करेगा, बट ये इनपुट जो 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 इसका आउटपुट होगा ना, इसी आउटपुट को दोबारा से फंक्शन में डाल देगा। बट ये आउटपुट या तो इनपुट से छोटा होना चाहिए या आउटपुट ग्रेटर देन इनपुट होना चाहिए। आउटपुट शुड नेवर बी इक्वल टू इनपुट। ऐसा क्यों? तो अगर मान लो आउटपुट और इनपुट एक हो गया ना, इनपुट जो डाला वही आउटपुट है, आउटपुट फिर वापस डाल दिया, तो वो रिपीट होता रहेगा, वो इनफाइनाइट लूप में फंस जाएगा, वो एक ही लूप में वो फंसता रहेगा। तो अपने को या तो आउटपुट हमेशा इनपुट से छोटा होगा, आउटपुट इनपुट से बड़ा होगा, और वही आउटपुट हम वापस से डाल देते हैं फंक्शन के अंदर, ठीक है। ये होता है रिकर्जन। और साथ में एक बेस कंडीशन लगानी पड़ती है, क्योंकि आपको आप एक फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप यहाँ से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो और आपको यहाँ तक जाना है ना। ये इनपुट था और ये बिगर आउटपुट है, ये आपका आउटपुट है जो ग्रेटर देन इनपुट है। आपको यहाँ जाने के लिए ना रिकर्जन के थ्रू जाएंगे, बट आपको कुछ कंडीशन लगानी पड़ेगी ना, आपको इससे आगे तो नहीं जाना ना। आपको ये पूरी मान लो ये कैसे कोई लाइन है, आपको यहाँ तक पहुंचना है, आपको इससे आगे नहीं जाना, तो आपको कंडीशन लगानी पड़ेगी कि इफ और इनपुट इक्वल्स टू इनपुट आउटपुट, तो हम ब्रेक करते हैं, ऐसे कुछ समझ रहा हूँ अभी, जिसमें मैं अपनी कंसेप्ट बता रहा हूँ, एक्सप्रेस बता पा रहा हूँ। या आई एम सॉरी, आई विल ट्राई टू दोबारा से बताने की कोशिश करता हूँ ना। ऑडियो की यार आई डोंट नो कि ऑडियो क्यों है, मे बी सम इंटरनेट इशू, बट मैं अब थोड़ी थोड़ी आराम से बताने की कोशिश करता हूँ। तो रिकर्जन की बात कर रहे थे, है ना। आई नो कि अंकित ने जो उन्होंने अलग तरीके से पढ़ाया होगा, बट आनंद ने, आई एम टॉकिंग विद माय अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से पढ़ा रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो मे बी देयर इज डिफरेंस हो सकता है। आप दोनों के मेथड से समझ लो रिकर्जन क्या होता है, जिसको नहीं आता वो आप समझ ले, जिसको आता है तो आप एक बार दोनों को कंपेयर कर लेना, जो सा जिसको जो भी आपको बेटर लगे। मतलब बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स तो सेम ही होंगे, बस थोड़ा सा पढ़ाने का तरीका अलग होगा। बट मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि अ फंक्शन कॉलिंग इटसेल्फ विद स्मॉलर इनपुट और बिगर इनपुट इज कॉल्ड रिकर्जन, है ना। कोई फंक्शन बनाया आपने, जब आप पाइथन में डिक्लेयर करते हो फंक्शन, है ना, तो आपने कोई फंक्शन का नाम रखा, फंक्शन नेम, ठीक है, फंक्शन नेम रख दिया, उसमें कुछ इनपुट दे दिया। अब आप कुछ कोड लिखोगे और बाद में या कहीं पे भी दोबारा फंक्शन को दोबारा कॉल करोगे, सेम फंक्शन को दोबारा कॉल करोगे। पर कंडीशन ये है कि या तो इनपुट ये वाला छोटा होगा, इनपुट -1 कर दो, और क्या कर दो, मतलब इनपुट को कम लेंगे हम, है ना, इनपुट को बढ़ाया नहीं है। मैं बढ़ा भी सकते हैं बट इनपुट सेम नहीं रखा। और ये कर सकते हो कि फंक्शन को दोबारा कॉल करा आपने, फंक्शन को दोबारा कॉल करा विद इनपुट को बढ़ा दिया, है ना। तो ये होता है ना। तो वही मैं दोबारा चीज बताना चाहूंगा कि फंक्शन कॉलिंग इटसेल्फ इज कॉल्ड रिकर्जन, है ना, जिसमें आपने इनपुट जो आया उसी का एक आउटपुट जनरेट किया उस फंक्शन ने, और वही आउटपुट दोबारा से अपने आप को कॉल किया विद अदर आउटपुट, है ना। अब वो आउटपुट या तो इनपुट से छोटा होगा, इनपुट से बड़ा होगा, कभी सेम नहीं होगा। अगर सेम होगा तो वो इनफाइनाइट लूप में फंस जाएगा। जैसे मैंने इसमें बताया कि फॉर एग्जांपल आपको इस पॉइंट से इस पॉइंट पे जाना है और आप रिकर्जन के फंक्शन लिख रहे हो, तो आपको एक कंडीशन लगानी पड़ेगी कि कभी इसके बाहर ना जाए, है ना, आपको यहाँ पे पूछना। तो इसलिए एक बेस कंडीशन लगाते हैं। तो उनको एक फॉर्मेट बताता हूँ, है ना। एक बहुत ही अच्छे सर है हमारे, उन्होंने बताया था कि कभी भी कोई रिकर्जन को कैसे काम करते हैं। जस्ट गिव मी 2 सेकंड। तो हम बात करते हैं, ठीक है, रिकर्जन का। देखो रिकर्जन का एक फॉर्मेट होता है लिखने का, है ना। इसके जो भी रिकर्सिव फंक्शन होता है ना, जो भी रिकर्सिव फंक्शन होता है, मैं आपको एक ट्रिक बता रहा हूँ, है ना। कोई भी रिकर्सिव फंक्शन है, मान लो ये एक रिकर्सिव फंक्शन है, okay, sure, Rajesh. Yeah, I think you come late. Basically I was asking with the people ki are they comfortable in Hindi or not. So they say they are comfortable, but no issues. Now I will speak in English. Okay, so basically we were currently talking about recursion. Okay, so what exactly recursion is? Basically calling itself is called recursion, है ना? A function calling itself with a input smaller or greater is called recursion, है ना? Now I'm going to give you a template of recursive function, like how the recursive function will look like, है ना? So let's say this is a function name, है ना? Here you define the function name with input, then with input, then there is some base condition which will always be present. It is necessary. This is called base condition. Then there is some piece of code. This is necessary. Okay, then there is a base condition, then there is some code, maybe not, depend on the requirement to requirement. And then function is calling itself. Okay, function calling itself with new input. Maybe like input can be input less than or greater than, depend on the things. For example, custom, you can say input star. Now input star can be input -1, or input star can be input +1, or anything, not +1 -1, anything. It should be either greater or equal. We will start with a small example. Okay, so I think this is the, if you want to copy this, you can. So basically, this is the template. You can say a template. Like every recursive function should have must necessary base condition, name, and then some piece of code, then calling this thing also. Okay. So one thing, 2, 3, and 3. First is necessary, third is necessary, 2 is not necessary. Depend on the conditions to conditions. Okay. But first and third thing we should always be present. Second can be compulsory or not, depend on the requirement to requirement. Okay, you can copy this if you want. Okay, yeah, cool. So let's talk about Fibonacci series. Okay, what exactly is Fibonacci series? Let me clear all this. We will talk about Fibonacci series. So basically Fibonacci series is basically a series of, for example, you may have learned about sequence and series, right, in your school exams. I think this taught in 11, 10, 12 something, 10th, 11th class or something like. So basically it's a sequence of numbers, and so an nth number of this sequence is basically the sum of last 2 numbers. For example, this is compulsory. First number should be 1, first number, then second number. Now third number will be the sum of these 2 numbers, which will be 1 + 1, 2. Okay, third number. People who don't know about sequence Fibonacci series, please learn about it after the class also. Like interview can ask in the interview itself also, on the question of Fibonacci series. So you should know about it. Now if you talk about fourth number, as I told, nth number equals to sum of n minus 1th number plus n minus second number. Okay, so first, second to fourth should be, if n equals to 4, then you should, and 4 minus 1, 3 plus 2. Okay, 4 minus 2, third number, and second number. Third number is 2, 1, which will be 3. Similarly, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 5, 13. This is fifth number, sixth number, seventh number, and so on. Okay, this is called a Fibonacci series. Okay, now people will give you, write a program to find the nth number of Fibonacci series. I will write a question. Check it. Write a program to find the nth number of Fibonacci series. This is a basic question asked in the small question. Like this is okay. This is the most basic question. So basically, you have to write a code that takes input as your nth number. For example, I will give you I will told you that I will give you a number, let's say 10th number. Now you have to find the 10th number of Fibonacci series, which is 13 plus 13, something else. There will be something number, and you have to find this. If you have to find the 10th number of Fibonacci series, I can ask you 100 number also, 1000 number also, and so on. Now, what's the basic code we will write? Okay, what is the basic code we will write? So let's say I write a function. I write a function called def Fibonacci number, and I will take number as input, input number. Let's say, so I know कि first number should be first. You can say a comma b. A equals to 1. I will try to make more clear also. I don't think. Yeah. So let's say your first number. We know कि first number should always be 1 and second number should always be 2. Okay. Now we know third number. Third number is sum of first plus second, and fourth number should be sum of third plus second, and fifth number is equals to sum of fourth plus third. We know this pattern. So what we will do, we know if input number equals to 1 or input number equals to 2, then our answer will always be equals to 1, because the first and second number should always be 1, right? Are you I want to ask, like, are you getting what I'm trying to say? Do you have any other questions? Any questions? If input number equals to 1 or input underscore number equals to, sorry, I didn't get you.
The speed ज़्यादा हो गया थोड़ा.
Okay, like I'm speaking so much fast, right?
So what if the input is 0?
Yeah, what is the input is 0? Then we will return. What if we have input is 0 or less than 0, right? Then we should return -1, because sequence and series start with the first number only. Okay, so basically we are finding the nth number. So this is the number. So if input is less than 0 or equals to 0, then we should return -1. We can write this there also. If input number less than equals to 0, then return -1, which means there is no any number. First number is second number 1. If input number 1 equals to 1 or input number 2 equals to 2, we will return 1. Now we will say for I in range 2 से 0, sorry, first and second हो चुका है, third 1 2 third से input number +1. Now you will ask why +1? For example, let range function should, if I say range from 3 to 4, it will, sorry, 1 to 4, it will 1 2 and 3, right? Now I want to go to input number, so input number +1, right? Now we will say num I will say just give me 2 seconds, erase it. Now I will say a third number. Okay, you can say a third number equals to first plus second. Okay, now first plus second and a second number should be equals to, sorry, just give me a second. I think I make somewhat complex. We can just give to a and b variable. Let's take a and b variable. It will like make you somewhat more confusing, right? I think, yeah. And I think, let me clear more drawing. Let me write a function again. Okay, so basically we are finding def Fibonacci number. Okay, create a function. I'm taking as input I underscore input. If I underscore input less than equal to 0, we will return -1. Okay, now we will take two variable, a equals to 1 and b equals to 1. Okay, now these are basically the first two number. A equals to 1 and b equals to 1. No. Okay, now we have to find, let's say I take input as 5. Okay, now I will write for I in range 3 to input plus 1. C should be always be equals to A plus B, and C should be always be equals to A plus B. Then A should be equals to B, B should be equals to C. Then we will return C. तो ये कोड है, एक छोटा सा कोड है, मे बी लग रहा होगी ABC क्या ले लिया, तो थोड़ा इसको कोशिश करो पढ़ने की, ठीक। मैं एक ड्राई रन करके बताता हूँ। आई वांट टू फाइंड द थर्ड नंबर ऑफ I1 की सीरीज है ना, 1 1 2 होता है, 2 मेरा थर्ड नंबर है। तो मैंने जब IP की वैल्यू 3 रखी, ये 0 ये फेल नहीं होगा, नहीं होगा, मतलब आगे आएगा A1 B1 फॉर I इन रेंज, रेंज कहाँ तक चलता है, 3 से 3 + 1 4 है ना। IP मेरा 3 था है ना, +1 3 से 4, तो मतलब एक ही बार चलेगा, 3 तक ही जाएगा। C मेरा हो जाएगा A + B, A + B क्या, 1 + 1 विच इक्वल टू 2। A मैंने क्या किया 2, क्योंकि A मेरा 1 हो जाएगा, सॉरी A मेरा 1, एंड B शुड बी इक्वल टू C कर दिया मैंने 2, ठीक है, और मैंने रिटर्न कर दिया 2, मतलब मेरा थर्ड नंबर तो 2 आया है ना। मान लो मैंने लिया 5, जब मैंने 5 लिया तो मेरा जो लूप चलेगा 3 से लेके 6 चलेगा, तो मतलब 3 4 और 5 के लिए I की वैल्यू रहेगी। I की वैल्यू कहाँ से कहाँ की हो जाएगी सॉरी, I was saying I will go from 3 4 and 5 now, because I have taken 3 in I for I in range 3 to IP plus 1, and IP is fifth number, है ना, IP is fifth number, so 3 4 and 5. So when I equals to 3, you know C will be 2 for I equals to 3, we've already done. When I moves to 4, then C should be equals to A plus B. A is 1 in the last iteration and B is 2, then which is equal to C should be equals to A plus B, 1 plus 2 3. C is 3 basically, we already know, sorry. Now A should be equals to 2, B should be equals to 3. For I equals to 4, C should be equals to 3, okay, and we already know when I की value 4, sum of the last two which is 3, then we move to fifth number, I equals to fifth, C should be equals to A plus B, A are 2, B is 3, 2 plus 3 5, A will move to 3, B will move to 2. Now so, and we will return C, which will return 5, okay, and which is the fifth number. Fifth number is always be 5, okay. Now this is the small thing. Basically, if you see, like basically what I'm doing is basically I'm finding the sum of last two number. A and B are always be the my last number. For example, this is a sequence series, and if C is this, C is this, then A and B are always this, okay. Now when we move to forward, well, let's say we move forward, now C is this, so we will update A and B also. Now B will be this and A will be this, basically this, okay. So basically A becomes B and B becomes C, okay, and C is this. So this is the basic function for writing. Basically, this is called an iterative function, iterative of writing Fibonacci number. This is the iterative method of writing Fibonacci number. Anyone has any doubt? I think you may already have learned it, but I'm just trying to explain it. Anyone has any doubt? No. Okay, that's cool. If you didn't have any doubt. Now let's move to the recursive function now. Let's see how the recursive function should look like. Okay, I'm writing again. I'm writing this small piece of code again. Def Fibonacci number. Okay, number. We take input IP. Let's say this is not IP. This is a number. Okay, this is number. If num is less than 0, we will return -1. Okay. Otherwise, A, B should be 1, 1 for I in range 3 to num plus 1. C should always be last of some 2, and then B will become, sorry, A will become B, B will become C, and we will return C. Now this is in this function we are basically using for loop, right? We are using for loop. Now we have to remove this for loop and do the same thing. Now let's come to what I have told you. But we have, there is one pattern in Fibonacci, that is nth number is always the sum of n minus 1 number and n minus 2 number. Okay, so let's write the recursive thing. Def Fibonacci number. Fibonacci number. I have told you already a pattern. Right? There should be one. First should be a base condition. Base condition. Something code. Then third is always necessary. Calling itself. Calling itself. These are must. This is not. Okay. So def Fibonacci number. Passing num. Base condition. Now, what exactly base condition is? We don't want our function to go infinitely. You know? This is the base condition. We already know. If num is less than equal to 2, less than equal to 0, less than equal to 0, we will return -1. We have done this. We have done with this code. We have to do this thing also. A comma b. If num less than equal to 2. Why 2? 1 comma 2. For 1 and 2, it's always equal to 1. Okay. Return 1. Done with the base condition. In the Fibonacci, there is no need to write this. If you want to write, you can write this. Sum should be always be equal to Fibonacci of num minus 1 plus Fibonacci of num minus 2 and return sum. So basically, I have like aggregate this both thing. Like calling itself already done. Fibonacci sum. I have taken the sum. You know. There is one thing I already told you. There's this input is either less than or equal to, is less than or greater than. Now if you see, num is always greater than num minus 1, right? Num minus 1 and num is always greater than num minus 2. So we are taking smaller input. We take input and we divide into smaller. Okay. So this is called Fibonacci in a recursive function. Basically, function calling itself is called a recursive function with input as smaller input or a bigger input, depend on the requirement to requirement. Okay. And this base condition should always be present. Okay. This is how we look like. We convert an iterative thing into recursive thing. So this is like just a small thing about Fibonacci number and like recursive thing. Anyone has any doubt in it? Did anyone have any doubt?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, can you repeat this?
The whole things.
No, last one.
Yeah, sure. Can you explain like what didn't you till get?
This for in range of what is this?
It's basically a program for finding the Fibonacci number. When the class gets over, try to find on Google, right? Like I will just show you. Right? Basically, if you see a program for finding a Fibonacci number, first you read this. The Fibonacci numbers are the numbers in the integer sequence. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. In mathematical terms, the sequence of Fn of Fibonacci number is defined as the recursive relation. Nth number is always be equal to n minus 1 plus n minus 2. Okay. If you think,
Okay.
yes.
But what you are writing here in for in range after that in bracket?
This is the way of finding the nth number of Fibonacci number. Basically, C is always be nth number. C is the nth number.
Oh, no, sir. Actually, for I in range, no, actually not getting in whiteboard.
This.
Yes.
It's basically 3, from 3 to num plus 1. Range is from 3 to num plus 1 because for 1 and 2 term, it's already fixed 1 and 1. Now we have to start from the third. So
Okay.
3 to num plus 1.
Sir, can you show in VS Code?
VS Code, I don't have VS Code. Just give me 2 seconds. Yes, let's write. You want a recursive function or a iterative function?
Both, sir. That will be great.
Okay. Let's start with the iterative function first. Def5.
Screen not shared, sir.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. Screen not shared. Okay, yeah. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So let's write the function and def5.
सर थोड़ा zoom करो ना.
Okay. Let's Fibonacci. ITR मतलब loop वाला. You can see loop function. Okay. We always pose a number. Number. If is less than equal to 0, we will just return nothing. We will just return -1. Else, if num less than equal to 2, return 1. Else a b equals to 1, 1. I in range 3 to num plus 1. C is equal to a plus b. Then a should be equals to b. And d should be equals to c. Okay, and we should return c. So let's say we call a function called print Fibonacci number of, and we want to find the 10th number. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Three. It should be program. So it should be 55 as the 10th number. Okay, 55 as the 10th number. Let's say I want to, let's see 2 things. I want first, then we want second number, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We want 7th number, 8th number, and 9th number. Okay. So for first number is first, then for second it 1, for third sum of last two 3, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. If you see, every number is the sum of the last two number, 8 and 13, 21. 21, 12, 21 and 13, 20, 24. Okay. So this is the way of writing the function in loop. Now we have to write in the recursive function. So basically, I forgot to say, like, basically the main motive of writing recursive function is to break the problem into smaller parts. So basically, if you see, when we're talking about Fibonacci of 10, Fibonacci of 10, if you know, like Fibonacci of nth number is always be the sum of 9th and 8th. So so when we are reaching to the 10th, we have already computed 9th and 8th also. So basically we are breaking our problem into two parts. Like we say, if we want to find the Fibonacci of 10th, first find Fibonacci of 9th and Fibonacci of 8th, then sum them and return the 10th. When we come to Fibonacci of 9, we say, first find Fibonacci of 8 and Fibonacci of 7, then we will return the sum of Fibonacci of 8 and Fibonacci of 7, which will be the Fibonacci of 9. Now when we go more deep down, we say we have to find Fibonacci of 8. Fibonacci of 8 is just basically sum of Fibonacci of 7 and Fibonacci of 6. I will just do Fibonacci. Recursion. Okay, recursion, and here say num. Okay, we say same condition as else. If
What is swapping does A equal to B and B equal to C? Can you please explain?
basically, if you see, like, try to understand the code more. Basically, see the sum of last two numbers. A and B are always with the last two. I already explained. A and B are always with the last two. B is the last one. A is the last second one. Then C is the sum of last two. Then we have calculated the last number. Then we have to move forward. So basically, I convert A to B, B to C, B to C, and C. Now come to this point. Okay. Now we know. I already told. Basically, we divide the problem into multiple parts, subparts. We know Fibonacci of num should always be the summation of Fibonacci of num minus 1 and Fibonacci of num minus 2. So we will say sum should be equals to Fibonacci of recursion of num minus 1 plus Fibonacci of recursion num minus 2. Breaking our problem into two parts. And when we return the sum, we will return sum of sum. Okay. Recursion okay. Now I'm going to call this function multiple times. Okay, same result, right? Yeah. So basically, we break our problem into smaller parts. When we have to go find the, I will just make a small thing. This is most necessary thing.
Sir, वो terminal दिखा सकते हैं क्या?
Yes, sure. Sure. Yes.
वो नहीं सर, हमने कोड लिखा है वो.
You have to see the code, right?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, yes. Okay, cool. So now I will just show you the small thing again and again. Just I forgot to tell you one thing. It's a must necessary. So when we are talking about, right, this is the small code. Just have to forget to teach you one small thing. It's must necessary. You should always, whenever you face a recursive function, you should use this approach. So basically, we basically did a recursion tree. So what is exactly recursion tree? As I told you, recursion is just a calling function itself and itself. So when we're talking about Fibonacci of number, Fibonacci of number, Fibonacci of num is always equal to Fibonacci of num minus 1 plus Fibonacci of num minus 2. Fibonacci of num minus 2. Now, how I come into this approach? How I come to this approach? By seeing a pattern. I already know 1, 1, 2, 3. This number is always the sum of these two. And how this comes? It's come by the Fibonacci of this. Fibonacci of 2. Sorry, but I'm taking 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. First number, second number, third number, fourth number, fifth number, and sixth number. Now, how we come to it? We come by the summation of 4, 3, and 5. Right? Summation of 4 and fifth number. And summation of fourth number means Fibonacci of 4, Fibonacci of 4, then Fibonacci of 5, and sum this. So Fibonacci of 4 plus Fibonacci of 5. So Fibonacci number is always the summation of Fibonacci of n minus 1, Fibonacci of n minus 2. So let's say we want to find the Fibonacci of 10, Fibonacci of 5. Fibonacci of 5 will do Fibonacci of 4 and Fibonacci of 3. Then Fibonacci of 4 will call Fibonacci of 3. Summation of Fibonacci. Basically, this is summation. This summation हो रही है यहाँ पे. So this is summation. Fibonacci of 2. For Fibonacci of 2, we need to find Fibonacci of 1 and Fibonacci of 0. Fibonacci of 3, we'll find Fibonacci of 2 and summation of Fibonacci of 1. And Fibonacci of 2, as we have already put the conditions, Fibonacci of 2 and Fibonacci of 3. Fibonacci of 2, Fibonacci of 1. So this is called a recursion tree. Basically, each function is calling itself. If you see in Fibonacci series, Fibonacci function is calling itself 2 times. One is with 4 input, one with 3 input, and this calling with 2 input, Fibonacci of 2, Fibonacci of 1. This is the recursion tree. Recursion tree. Okay. Now when if you see, there is one point to notice. If you see, we are calling Fibonacci with input 3 to multiple times. This one and this one, right? So very basically, why we have to call Fibonacci of 3 times? When we move to the higher input, higher inputs, when we come to 5, maybe you will see that Fibonacci of 3 is calling more than 5 times, So basically, we are calling the same function with same input again and again. Why? All right. So instead of what we will do, we find the first time, then store it in somewhere else. Then when we run the function again, for let's say we are calling Fibonacci of 3 5 times, with higher input. With Fibonacci of 20, let's say, you will observe that Fibonacci of 3 is calling about 5 times. So why we have to run the function Fibonacci of 3 5 times? What we will do when the Fibonacci of 3 run first time, we will store it. We will store the output of Fibonacci of 3 in somewhere else, in some box. When Fibonacci of 3 runs second time, we don't compute. We will just take the input output from there and print it. When we 5 multiple times, we will just take the input from there and print it. We will no need to calculate again and again. So storing the output first time and reusing it again and again is nothing, just a DP, dynamic programming. Okay, so when you will learn it in the future, you will just a nothing, just a recursion, just a small things, right? Nothing else. So yeah, I think it's taken a long class. I think just a small doubt class. So that's why I think. If you have any doubt, you can take. There is one question called time complexity and space complexity. This is a homework for you. You just go into it and find what is the time and space complexity, and then you can ask me with then we can like have a lecture on it, like what is the time complexity and space complexity. But for now, this is a homework for you. Okay. So let's take attendance. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we can just move to the attendance. Just wanted to ask, like, anyone has any feedback regarding the class? Like, what went right and what went wrong? Did anyone have to do anything?
Sir, I have understood the class, but you are a little fast.
Little fast.
Not it is too much faster. ऐसा है कि एक बार पास हो गया, पता नहीं चल रहा क्या पास हो गया एक बार.
Sorry.
सर वो क्या है ना, ट्रेन में जा रहे हैं तो सामने से एक ट्रेन जाता है ना, हमको पता लगा कि ट्रेन जा रहा है मगर उसमें क्या है पता नहीं चल रहा है.
Okay, next time I will just remember it. Okay.
हमने दो बार रिमेम्बर किया, आप तो अपने ही अंदाज में चले जा रहे हैं. मतलब नेगेटिव फीडबैक नहीं है, मगर हम जो है सीख रहे हैं ना सर.
Yeah. I totally agree.
तो मुश्किल हो जाता है कॉन्सेप्ट पकड़ने में.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. I'm just taking your attendance. I don't know how to take attendance.
Sir, is attendance created?
Yeah, I'm just taking the attendance. I like can't see reading material.
MCQ required, sir, for attendance. 3 or 4 MCQ.
It's compulsory.
Huh?
It's compulsory.
I think.
Okay.
Don't know. I don't know. Because every time any instructor give M- MCQs to attendance.
Yes, compulsory, sir.
So I've created an MCQ. You can just check it. I added 2 questions. Okay. Basically, the people who submit the MCQ has done with the attendance, right? I think. Hello, can anyone guide me on this? Did I have to take attendance alone, or I think attendance is
So,
done?
so you need to create the attendance.
But I'm going to click. I'm clicking on the create attendance button, but it's not showing anything.
Or maybe we need another 2 MCQs or one more MCQs.
Oh, at least 4. Okay. At least 4 function.
तो मैंने already submit कर दिया attendance.
You already done with attendance?
Yeah.
How?
यस सर
No,
मैंने
it's
भी
showing
कर
to me.
दिया
अगर
Yes,
आपने
sir,
बताया
same
नहीं
here.
तो how is it showing to me?
Can you please guide others also?
Attendance pop-up for an answer.
I was seeing like some people were calling the like in the if you see the MCQ 2, half people have give the correct answer and half didn't. So basically the question is in recursion function should call itself with the same input or smaller or larger input. So there are people who click with same input. As I told you, it's the incorrect answer because if you call the same function with the same input, it will be going into the infinite loop. Right? So why we should write this type of code which will go into the infinite loop, right? So in recursion, we always call the function itself with the input smaller or larger. Now to break the function, to break the iteration, we just put the base condition. So for example, when we are taking input and calling the function itself with the higher input. Okay. So we will add a base condition that if our input reaches more than 10 or more than 20 or more than like base condition, if our input reaches more than this, we will break the code. Similarly, if we are taking the smaller input and we are calling the function itself, then we will write a base condition that if our input goes below this, we will break the code. So this is the thing. So I think you should get your answer. I think if you're done with the attendance, I think then we can end the class, right? If you anyone has ended, they can ask me.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Okay, good night. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, guys.